Morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Very warm welcome to all of you this Monday morning. Hope you guys are absolutely fantastic. Hope you had a fantastic week last week and are ready for another amazing week. So, this morning we're going to be talking about discipline. So for some, this is a topic of a great joy because they're very disciplined people. And for others, this is a very sore topic because they are not very disciplined. However, most of successful people believe that success happens on purpose. Very rarely success happens by mistake. So that's where the discipline comes in, because discipline allows us to achieve things on purpose. So I'll go through with you through a couple of things and couple of self-disciplines that you might want to master as part of your journey towards success and as part of your journey towards self-development. So the first discipline that you want to work on is the discipline of clear thinking. And Thomas Edison once said that thinking is the hardest discipline of all. So what do I mean when I talk about thinking? You might be saying, well, I'm thinking all day long. But what I mean about is time to sit down and think clearly, is to really focus and concentrate. What I'm talking about is 30 to 60 minutes of quiet time, of solitude, and sitting and thinking in silence. Okay, so very few people do that. Their life is actually usually filled in with noise. Their life is always filled in with all of this, either radio or television or adverts or this, that, and the other, and they very rarely have any time to sit down and actually think. So that's really important, to find that time to sit and think. And one of the other ways to do it is having a walk. So having a walk or exercise for 30 to 60 minutes, because very often when you're exercising, you will start getting insights and ideas because your whole body is actually turned into action, etc. So that also helps a lot. Also is learning to think on paper. So again, very few people actually write things down, and sometimes when it's in your head, I don't know how to describe it. It's not yet there. It's not yet tangible. It's sort of, you have the ideas, but they're sort of floating out there and they are not in order. So one of the easiest ways to find solutions to challenges or to really work on your ideas is to put them down on paper. This is why I like like being on a plane where the telephones are not working and there's no internet, etc. That gives me time to actually sit and write things down. It's sort of unload my brain onto paper. So that's really powerful way of thinking and really going through. Okay, the second discipline that I wanted to mention is the discipline of daily goal setting. Yes, daily goal setting, not once a year, not once a month, not once a week, but daily goal setting, right? So start by asking yourself, what do I really want to do with my life? And ask this question over and over and over and over again. Imagine you had unlimited money. What would you do? And if you only had a limited amount of time to live, okay, so what would you do? What would you do immediately? What would you change in your life? Okay, imagine that you had no limitations, and start thinking about these things and begin writing out, at least 10 goals, in the present positive personal tense. So I earn so much by December, so with deadline, etc. And then have your daily goals, so what do I want to achieve today, etc. And set yourself these goals continuously. Again, it's all about it happening on purpose. If you look on most businesses and most successful companies, those companies know what they're doing. They have daily goals, they have KPIs, they have things where they're keeping track of what is happening. So it's really important to be in charge of that and to really plan your every single day, having to-do lists, having ideas, of what you want to achieve today and each day. Okay, the third discipline is the discipline of daily time management. Now, time management is somewhat a bad term because you cannot manage time. the only thing you can manage is yourself. So what we're talking about here is managing your own daily schedule, so making a list of everything that you have to do and then prioritizing things, organizing things, saying, okay, so what is it that you can achieve today? Some of you have heard of the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule, which says basically that 20% of things that you do will affect 80% of your life. And the other 80% of things is just noise. It's not going to affect much. It's only going to affect 20% of your life. So again, focusing on those 20% of things that are most important will help you greatly. So discipline yourself in managing your own time, because super rich people and super poor people have the same 24 hours in a day. So the only difference is that what they do with that time. So remember, nobody is better than you, but they are doing things that you're probably not doing right now. And sometimes to become successful, we have to do some things that others won't do so that we can live the life that others can't do. Okay? All right, the fourth discipline is the discipline of courage. Now, courage requires that you make yourself do what you should do and deal with your fears rather than avoiding them. Okay, so the biggest obstacle in success in people's lives is fear of failure. Okay, so people are afraid to fail. And actually, most people are not afraid to fail as such because they did things over and over by themselves, but they're afraid of failing in front of other people. They're afraid of failing and other people seeing. So courage is a habit, and it's developed by practicing whatever you need to do. So do what you fear most. You might have heard the expression of eat that frog that Brian Tracy has come up with. And what it basically means, it means do the thing that you feel the most uncomfortable with or the most fearful with first off in the morning. And then once you've done that, everything else becomes somewhat easier. Okay, so make a habit of confronting your fears rather than avoiding them. When you confront your fear and move forward with it, it disappears because you get good at it. Some of you were afraid of public speaking, but then you started doing it, and now it's just you feel very comfortable doing it. So it's really just about doing it and doing it and doing it. I like the Nike philosophy, which says just do it. Okay, the fifth discipline that I want you to practice is the discipline of excellent health habits. Okay, so for you to be powerful and for you to achieve things that you've never achieved in your life, you need to have energy for that. You need to have vitality for that. And a sick, weak body cannot achieve big, ambitious, hairy goals. Okay, so you have to develop your health habits, and some of them are like eating healthily. Some of you are not really looking after your diet. You're eating stuff that is really harming your body, that's really damaging. So one of the things that somebody taught me some time ago, and I really loved it, they said, whenever you're eating something, ask yourself a question: is this serving me? How is this serving my body? So is what I'm eating right now clogging my arteries and getting me obese and giving me ill health? Or is what I'm eating right now charging my body with vitamins, minerals, nutrients, enabling my body to be healthier and fitter and more vital? The second thing is exercise. Now, I'm not talking on going and doing insanity every single day, but I'm talking just, vigorous exercise at least half an hour every other day. That might be just a fast walk around, the block, or a bicycle ride or whatever, but do some exercise, move, because home-based business doesn't mean homebound business. You need to exercise at least a little bit. And the easiest way, obviously, to develop a habit is to do something for 21 days in a row. So whether you want to quit smoking, or you want to start running in the mornings, or you want to start eating healthier, do it for 21 days. Everything is hard before it gets easy. So if you do it for 21 days, I promise it will get easier. Okay? Really, really important. Things like not eating after 6, in the evening, and things like that, it will help you a lot in, really maintaining your health. Okay, number 6 is the discipline of regular saving and investing. Again, a lot of business people are not very good with money because they spend more than they earn, and that's the challenge. So what you need to do is start developing your saving habits. And even if you are not in a very great financial shape right now, just putting away some, a percent or few percent of what you actually make will start building that habit. So start, developing a discipline of, really, really saving and investing. And I've heard recently somebody said that the best tip for wealth in business is spend less and sell more. Really, really simple, but a lot of people don't get it. So uh, think on again. Spend some time and thinking. Do I spend money unnecessarily? What sort of expenses I can reduce in my life right now? And then think, how can I generate more money? So when I sell more, it's not necessarily actually selling. Maybe it's recruiting more, maybe it's building my team more, etc. But basically income generating activities. So how can I generate more money while spending less money? Okay, have a think about that. And then seventh discipline is the discipline of hard work. Develop a reputation for being a hard worker. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Very, very good saying. So think about how much time do you actually work per week for your business. Now, I'm not talking if you have a full-time job and you're running your business part-time. I'm not talking about your full-time job, but how many hours do you actually work in your business? And those of you who've heard my trainings before, the only time when you work is when you're doing income producing activity. So either you're selling a product, or you're recruiting a person, or you're training your people. So one of those three. So how much time per week, per day, per month you actually spend working on your business? Okay, so get to work. Stop. This is called network marketing, not net sit marketing, not net hang around marketing, not net social gathering marketing. It's called network marketing. So start getting to work if you want to make some serious money. And the discipline number 8 is the discipline of continuous learning. You have to stop and sharpen the saw. Too many people are sawing the tree, but they don't find time to stop and sharpen the saw. So they're working hard, but they're not working smart. Jim Rohn always used to say, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So one of the very good habits to develop is to read or listen to audio books at least 30 to 60 minutes every single day. If you do that, that's like 50 books per year. Okay, so that's a lot of reading. That's a lot of knowledge that you put into yourself. That's a lot of value you're building. Okay, so when you're driving, you should not be listening to a radio. You might be liking your music or whatever, but if you're listening to music and radio as you're driving around, then you're just simply not serious about developing yourself as a person. Those of you who have ever driven in my car, that my car is full of CDs, and my phone is full of audiobooks, etc. Because whenever I'm driving, I'm using that time to educate, inspire, or motivate myself by learning something from people. Think about it this way. If somebody spent 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years in business, became extremely successful, made millions or billions, and then they wrote a book describing how they became successful, shouldn't you really spend time listening and reading through those books? I mean, come on. I mean, you can spend the next 20, 30, 40 years trying to make it, and sort of work it out by yourself. But why do that? Why not just grab a book of Richard Branson? Why not grab a book of Sir Alan Sugar? Why not grab a book of Tony Robbins? Why not grab a book of Warren Buffett? Why not grab a book of Tony Robbins? and start fast tracking your success. Start learning from those guys, learning from their mistakes and their successes, and applying that stuff in your life. Come on, let's work smart, not hard. Okay. And the discipline number 9 is the discipline of persistence. So this is the last discipline and one of the most important. The greatest test of self-discipline is when you persist in the face of adversity and you drive yourself forward to complete your tasks 100%, no matter how you feel. They say the winners never quit and quitters never win. Okay, so nobody has ever achieved anything by quitting. Okay, so you need to develop a habit of persistence and determination and really sticking to it until it's done. Okay, so first of all, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and what you're doing. Secondly, work on it. Work on it and persist every single day. They say that people who are not successful, their results, their results determine their attitude. So if they have a good day, and they sold or they recruited somebody, they're happy. If they have a bad day, they're unhappy and they're miserable, etc. So their results are determining their attitude, and they are like yo-yo, up and down every single day. Whereas successful people, they make their attitude determine their results. So it doesn't matter whether they had a good or bad day, they always have the right attitude. And eventually, if they always have the right attitude, they will get the right results. So be persistent and self-discipline yourself in that area. Okay, the persistence is the character of a man or a woman as a carbon is to steel. That's actually by Napoleon Hill. So you actually make yourself into a better, stronger person by persisting when you're feeling like quitting. Because if you do persist, you'll be proud of yourself. Whereas if you quit, you'll go, well, that's another thing, I quit, etc. And the more of these things you do, the less confident you feel in your own abilities. Okay, so work on being a persistent person, work on being a determined person, and working hard on everything. Okay, because how you do anything is how you do everything, guys. Okay, I hope you found this useful. I hope you get some nuggets from this. I hope you're going to apply some of this stuff. I'm hoping you're not just sitting here listening to it and you're going to go back to the same things. Go and apply something. Go grab one of these disciplines and say, this week is I'm going to be working on this particular discipline. And I'm going to get better this week on this particular discipline. And maybe next week, I'll grab another one and start developing them and start building yourself as a person. Awesome, guys. You have a fantastic day. You have a fantastic week. And as always, I'll see you at the top.